as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Followers of Me Marbella Radio will have heard of Sober Academy, because on the 6th of March we interviewed and chatted with quite a few of the members of this fabulous European group that have come together to form the European Association of Recovery Specialists, which is actually grouping together a bunch of specialists in rehabilitation from addiction. So very, very worthy cause. And joining us is Evian and Jose Luis, two of the guests on Me Marbella last week. So welcome to Marbella now.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We are very welcome to be here. It's a pleasure to share with you what we are doing.
Well, Jose Luis has come all the way from Madrid, but Evian has come all the way from Rome to attend this course, a training course that's part of this association to group together a speciality that's called interventionists. Mm-hmm. Now, this is quite unique in the approach to how to address addiction. Evian, you contacted me on Facebook, so let's start with you. Ladies first as well, Jose Luis.
Ladies first.
Evian, tell us what your mission is here. Why did you contact me? What's your message? What do you need to share?
Okay, so I contacted you because we held the Sober Academy Sober Interventions training 2 weeks ago. And it was my hope to have people from Marbella involved and join us in this training so that there can be more people who can go out and help people, especially focusing right now on expats in the European community, but expats in Marbella. To help people who may have, alcohol problems or substance use disorders or behavioral problems, so that people can get the help that they need, so they don't have to suffer with these, addictions.
You live in Rome, but you're from originally the
California.
States. California,
yes.
Yay! Do you find living in Rome as an expat that there's a lack of resources to help
Absolutely.
people in their own language where they can feel identified and get help?
Absolutely. For instance, in Italy, there are 11 United Nations organizations. There's countless numbers of embassies and consulates. There's countless numbers of, these are English-speaking also, English-speaking universities and high schools. And these people have basically zero resources other than psychiatrists and psychologists. They don't have that missing link to get them into treatment, to get them the proper care that they need. So in Italy, in France, in Spain, the English-speaking community really do need people like us.
Jose Luis, an interventionist is something quite different. In fact, you are the only one in Spain that has taken this speciality, and what is it?
Well, yes, I am a pioneer. Right now I'm not the only one because I have been trying to coach people because I came here doing this kind of intervention. We have different models, and an intervention, the work of an interventionist, what he's doing is working with families in pain who has a loved one that they are on addiction, on active addiction, and they are in denial. So with these models, what we are doing is break through that denial and say the loved one say yes to the treatment center. So by the time that I knew these intervention models in the United States, I went there. I get the certification because it's important to get certification, and Sober Academy is doing. I am doing here in Spain in Spanish, and we are doing in different languages. So to people be well educated to do this job. So by the time that I get the certification, I came here and I started to do intervention. And I thought to myself, in Europe, we are not as conscious as in US they are with addiction. So I thought I'm not sure if it is going to work, the same here and there. And I was really surprised that is working much better here in Europe and the south of Europe than in the United States. And it is really easy because we work for families. And Latin families has much more power than Anglo families.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, in the sense, that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring my children up in Spain, is so that our children would still speak to us when they grew up and they wouldn't run away from home, which is very different to as it would be in the States or in the UK. Evian, what's the reason that you got involved with this? It seems to be a common thread between the members of this association, the coaches, that from personal experience grows this tree of hope and this insight into how not to make those same mistakes.
Well, one of the reasons I got involved with this is because I am in recovery myself, and I did grow up in a family where alcohol, my mother had a severe alcohol use disorder problem, and it was my thought once I realized that there were recovery coaches and interventionists, wouldn't it have been wonderful if somebody came into our family, spoke to my mother, and then after years I became, addicted to alcohol? Wouldn't it have been wonderful? My family got around me and loved me into recovery. That's what we do. We love the people into recovery.
Is that what the base of addictions stems from? Lack of a sense of being loved?
Yes, we can say yes. There are too many, issues around. Some people believe in biopsycho social, approach. There are too many approaches, but what we are not working, with people on active addiction, and we usually work with families, and families are in pain, and what's happened here in Europe is there are too many people who can find an addiction treatment, residential, outpatient, or whatever, but families who has a loved one that they don't want to be in recovery, they are completely lost. We have an expression in Spanish that I can say because I can say it in English, like, están más perdidos que las ratas. How can I say that in English?
They're more lost than the rats. I was not really sure the translation, but no idea what's going on.
You know what I mean.
Yes. Denial and the stigma behind having any problem, I would think, is the biggest hurdle for families and for the actual addict. How does one even begin to approach that, Evian?
Well, I can say for myself that when there seems to always be this small idea that there is something wrong, even if there is denial, people get to a point where the pain is so great, and you can't live with that pain anymore. And you search around, I searched on the internet, like what's available to me. I remember getting into like a chat room and saying, help, I can't feel half of my face because of the alcohol nerve, damage. That was tremendous. And somebody said, well, have you asked for help? And I was like, whoa, what an idea,
Evian, I'm so sorry to hear that you go through so much pain, and you would think that from your mother you wouldn't then make the same mistakes, but that seems to be a renowned fact, that we do those same mistakes. Does everyone have to hit rock bottom before there's any hope of recovery?
As a matter of fact, no, we don't have to hit the kind of rock bottom that I did, for instance, or that so many people I've heard of, with accidents or deaths or drunk drivings or tickets, or there's so many rock bottoms that can be avoided with the help of a trained, loving interventionist, which is what we are,
When did you decide, Jose Luis, that you wanted to specialize and become an interventionist, which is different than just a coach, as I understand it?
Yeah, it's completely different. Well, I am in recovery as well, and I have been working in companies as a sales manager, the marketing department. I was working in the mayor, in el ayuntamiento. How do you say?
With the mayor.
With the mayor here, like time ago. But as in the marketing communication department. But then when I get into the real recovery, I decided.
Hey, hey.
This next section is sponsored by Línea Directa, tailor-made expat car insurance. When you see one of these stickers on the door of an establishment, it means zero heroes are welcome. What's a zero hero? Well, it's that person who's not drinking when you go out and volunteers to drive everybody else home. A lot of local businesses have signed up to the Zero Hero incentive that came out of our United Nationalities of Marbella Summit in 2018. And the idea is that our local businesses are promoting, obviously, to go out, have a good time, to drink, party, but then when it gets time to go home, have you thought about how you're getting home? Thanks to our UNMS 2016, the Linea Directa Insurance Company have included free taxi up to 4 times a month for everyone who's got a NIE in the province of Malaga. And now the businesses that display this sticker are welcoming the Zero Hero. If you're driving another 3 people who are drinking and you are not, when you breathe into one of our disposable breathalyzers, you will prove to the establishment that although you didn't order a drink, you also didn't drink a drink, and you are being the responsible person taking the others home, and you will not pay for your soft drinks. Businesses that have signed up are all the ones we've spoken to so far, starting off here with Ambrosia in San Pedro, also in Posidonia, Banús, El Gaucho, Banús, also, let me think now, we've got La Red Chiringuito, Babylonia, Portside, the Harbour, Tibu. There are so many. Go to our website, www.rtvmarbellanow.com. Also, Kitsch, as I said, loads of them. Go to the website, check out, because there are more joining every week.
I decided to change my life to help people. And then I find this figure to help families in pain that we don't people know here in Spain, and the professionals don't even know this profession. So I said, okay, this is the one that I want to do, and it has been a really tough time to position it in Europe and in Spain and in Italy, because we are the only ones. So we are not giving up, and and we want to be more positioned in the field, that people can find us, and it's because we are training people, in order to do our job, because we are the only ones, and there are a bunch of people and families that they are completely lost.
Well, I think it's absolutely fabulous, trying to create more awareness and other people learn how to help other people. And Evian, that's what the event in October is all about. You've chosen Marbella to come from all over Europe, all over the world, to train in this speciality of how to treat not just the addict but the family, so that this is a group recovery.
Absolutely. So the October 23rd to the 27th, we're going to be back here in Marbella with the entire Sober Academy team, and it will be a 5-day training program for recovery coaching, certified recovery coaching. And I just want to say that I'm the only interventionist and recovery coach in all of Italy, and I need more help. So it would be fantastic to get more people trained, so that I have more people I can ask for, to help more people.
Also, we have different trainings in different languages. So maybe Dutch people want to do in their own language, and English people, or and Spanish people. So we are a group of people to train, people in different languages.
No, and it makes sense. Jose Luis was saying yesterday, I mean, your English is fabulous, but you can't express yourself the same as you would, and that's fundamental.
Yeah, and if you are talking about feelings, and if you are talking about training, because I can communicate well, you can understand me, and I can understand well, but in order to work in this field, you have to find the right words to persuade, to motivate, and sometimes, I'm not as fluent as I would like to, but in time.
And
Exactly.
for instance, in Rome, Italy, I do interventions and recovery coaching in Italian as well as English. And sometimes I do interventions in both languages with the grandparents who speak only Italian and the wife or son who only speak English. And I'm, bringing them together to share in this experience of loving the family back to health. And it's miraculous, truly.
And it's wonderful to see the dedication and the passion, but obviously you're speaking from experience, all of you. The event in October is aimed at professionals who want to then specialize in this type of interventionalism, But also, before we finish, Evelyn, Jose Luis, for anyone who's watching, most people don't think they have a problem, whether it's an addiction on, I mean, what kind of, you were talking about yesterday, you can have a shopping addiction, gambling addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction. I mean, there's just all kinds of problems. What would you say to our viewers would be the bell to say, hey, listen, maybe we're talking to you. There is help out there. You're not alone.
Well, I will say, by the time that you think there is something wrong, go to see a specialist. That's it. Because and many times the people who suffer, the addiction, they don't think that they are as bad as they are. But the people around, they can do, to go to visit some professional, the father, the wife, the husband. Please go and see for the first time, professional.
And Evian, to finish, when people aren't accepting they have a problem, when families don't know what to do, what would you say to them is how to approach this? Because obviously catching someone off guard with an intervention hasn't always proved to be so successful. What would be the first steps for the family?
I would tell the family, just ask for help. Ask for help from me. I'm on Facebook, Sober Academy, any of us. Just say, I need help, I'm not sure. And we can guide you. There are so many resources that people don't realize are available to them. And even if it's just a question like, I'm in Rome and maybe my husband has a problem. What can I do? Ask me. Just ask me. And I've been there, I know what it's like, and look I'm in Marbella. It's like,
when people say,
miraculous.
When we talk about addictions, people always have a negative intonation, or if I'm saying, okay, people are going to come on talking about this, they were addicts, it's like, ooh. But Jose Luis, as you know yourself, there's no race, there's no creed, there's no religion, there's no age. In fact, the more affluent you are, the easier it is to fall into bad habits. And then it's kind of like you can't admit it because you're in this high position. How would you say to someone, don't be ashamed of this?
Well, here in Spain and in Europe, and there is a lot of stigma. But I think that people who are in recovery, and as Evian or I am, it is, we have to share that we are in recovery to get less stigma, because this is, how can I say, like an illness, and like another kind of illness, like cancer was, very stigmatized like 20 years ago, and now having a cancer is an illness. But saying, share the recovery, and don't be ashamed, to be an addict, because it's an illness that everyone can have it.
Basically, he asked for help.
You can recover, and you can have an amazing life.
And the nicest thing, when Janique, if you listen to the radio show, as I said, it was on the 6th of March. If you go to rtvmarbella.tv and then /radio, you can listen to the Me Marbella show. But Janique, who's like your lead coach, was saying the most important thing and the main objective is to be happy.
Happy, feliz, muy feliz.
That's the goal. That's the goal, to be happy.
And you can be happy without drinking, without gambling, having, balanced sex, balanced food. You can be happy.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you very much, guys. Best of luck. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Jose Luis and Evian, thank you so much.
It's a brand new